whether you like it or not. All right, it says we're streaming live. Hello, everybody. I don't know if anyone's on yet, but welcome to the first ever Ask Us Anything where Nick is not part of it. And today, you might notice that the person standing in for Nick doesn't look quite like him. Today, Carrie, who's our creative director, and was previously known as the as part of the Travel is Free team. She's going to stand in for Nick and kind of be the host of the show, ask me questions based on questions that the audience asks, and then we'll banter about them if appropriate. So
we'll see.
Carrie, do we have anything to?
Yeah, so I'm going to mostly be reading your questions, you, the YouTube audience, since I don't know nearly as much about this as Greg. But we have a few questions queued up from weeks gone by. This one's from the blog. Ramon asks, does Amex inform you if you are eligible for a bonus before they pull your credit when applying through a referral link?
Okay, so what Amex does when you apply through any link, they do check some things to see whether you, based on some rules, whether you might be eligible for the card. So for example, if they think that you've had the card before, they're gonna upfront before they pull your credit report or anything, just say you're not eligible for this card. But that whole process does, it does, I believe, happen with referral links, just like any other links, but it's not a perfect process. So it's always possible that your application, actually it can go wrong in both ways. Like sometimes it'll tell you that you're not eligible, even though you really are. Other times it might let it go through and you might later, it's unusual, but it is possible that later you would be told, sorry, you can't get a sign-up bonus for this card. The good news is that Amex, if the answer is you're not going to get approved, Amex doesn't usually pull your credit regardless. So even if you do the full application, submit it, if you're not approved, they're not usually going to pull your credit. So it's not too dangerous to do.
Is that unique to Amex?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know of any other issuers that do that.
Huh. Yeah, that I definitely didn't know that. So unless you have anything to add on that, I have another former question to queue up.
Okay, let's go for the next one.
So Charles Lampek asked in a previous week, will buying Amazon gift card reloads daily possibly trigger the RAT team at Amex? It's to get 30 transactions for the everyday preferred card.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really know one way or another for sure. I could just go by what I would bet would happen, which is I don't think they would worry about that. It's not a major, gaming of the system to ensure that you get the 30 transactions, in my opinion. So I don't think they would bother you with that. But again, I don't know for sure, so can't say 100%.
Seems like a wise answer anyway. So we do actually have our first actual live question here from JC. He says, hi, Greg, Caroline, and congrats to Nick. Which sign-up bonus would you guys recommend of these? United Explorer for 60,000 or United Club Infinite for 100,000, net 65,000 with AF reimbursement using miles?
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, so he's saying you can redeem the miles to offset the annual fee, I guess, and so that it looks like you'd come out $5K ahead with the Infinite card, which also has other benefits like club lounge access. So if that's true, I'm actually not familiar with the ability to use miles to reimburse the annual fee with that card, but assuming I'm reading that right, it sure sounds like on the surface of it, the Club Infinite card is the better way to go. Of course, you might not be eligible for it, but the Sapphire Preferred came out today with a new 80K offer. So if you're eligible for that, that might be something that would trump either of those offers. But yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me to get 5K more for the Club Infinite, and you could always next year downgrade to, for example, the no fee United Mileage Plus card, so that you still get better award availability, but don't have an annual fee.
Interesting. Wish I had anything to add. I disagree. So looks like we're a little slow on the YouTube questions, so I'm going to kick it back to the blog post again. JRG asked, if you die, can a family member get your frequent flyer miles? And is there a cost for that kind of transfer?
Yeah, well, if you die, so that's going to depend on the airline program. Like each different program has different rules. So, for example, Delta has a published rule that when you die, your points die with you. That's the only time they kind of expire. But that being said, and other airlines are kind of just quiet on the whole thing. But I have heard stories of people just calling, an airline and telling them, my spouse died or my father or whatever, and them being willing to make a one-time transfer of points. So it's certainly possible to happen. Personally, I'm in a situation, my dad died, and I've been managing all his points for a long time. And so all his credit card accounts were closed sort of automatically. So what happened was, once the credit bureaus got wind of it, I guess, of him dying, that they reported it to the credit card companies or something along those lines anyway. So they closed out his accounts. I had already transferred out. So for example, with membership rewards, you could transfer to, as long as you're an authorized user on one of their cards, you could transfer to your own loyalty programs. With Chase, if you're in the same household, you could transfer to your own Chase accounts, like with Ultimate Rewards, for example. So I had already transferred those out, but with his Delta account, I'm still just, using it. So if someone in the family needs to travel, I just log in as him and book them flights with his miles.
Oh,
So
really?
you're not supposed to do that, but just between me and you, that's what I've been doing.
And the viewers. Interesting. So we have a follow-up question on your previous question. Larry K says, Greg, was your guess this morning about a possible 100,000 sign-up bonus on the reserve card a pure guess or an educated one?
It was it was just a random guess, mostly. Although I have to say that
It wasn't.
that Nick has a couple times mentioned the possibility that he thought the CSR 100K offer might come back at some point, and so that's why it was kind of on my mind. But no, there's no educated, there's no clue out there on the internet that I've seen that suggests this will happen. This is just sort of like, knowing that if the preferred bonus is so much higher than the reserve, which it is now. So right now, preferred is 80K, the reserve is only 50K. They're going to have a hard time getting signups for the reserve, I think. So I think it's a good bet that they'll do something to try to attract people. So we'll see.
Yeah. Next question. Harsh Sharma asks, and I'm reading this live, so if there are typos, I will read the typos. Do you think US Bank will keep the altitude reserve the same for a while? I downgraded my CSR to a Freedom since it's worth nothing, close to 550, and looking to get rid of my Amex Gold too.
I don't know. I don't have any guesses about altitude reserve. I think it's still a fairly compelling card for people who do a lot of mobile wallet payments because of it earning 3x points there and the points being worth 1.5 cents each. So 4.5% back at places like Costco, and really anywhere that takes mobile pay is very attractive still, even as other cards have been upping and upping their bonuses. So, and then with the travel fee credit, the net annual fee is more like $75 if I remember right. So I find it still a compelling card to keep with the current, benefits and everything. I'd love it if they do more, but no, I don't have any guess as to whether they will.
Then Adam Double M asks, any idea for Marriott downgrade, soft/hard landing policy for 2022? I am platinum now and wondering if it's worthy to go for titanium.
That's interesting. So if you go for titanium this year, then yeah, so you'll have titanium next year, and then if you don't, so I guess the idea is if you don't re-up at least platinum next year, you're hoping that you'd get a soft landing back to platinum for 2022. I think that's very, very likely that would happen. I don't have any inside info. I don't think they've published any official rules about soft landings, though.
Then our buddy Grant asks, Grant Thomas, congrats to Nick. With Nick on paternity leave for the next few weeks, will we see any major or minor changes to frequent miler? Maybe Stephen or Carrie can guest podcast or live YouTube videos.
Yeah, I think the last part is very likely to happen. I should mention Stephen is actually here and invisible. He's behind the scenes, ready to correct us when we say things wrong or just help out as needed. He's in a hotel though with bad Wi-Fi, and his wife is also on a conference call, so he doesn't want to be talking out loud and talking over her. But he's there. So both Carrie and Stephen are helping out. Any other major or minor changes? I can't think of. Can you think of anything, Carrie? That
today, Stephen is me and I'm Nick.
Right.
So then you are going to be who? I guess you're just you.
I just stay me. How boring. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. The main change is I'm working harder than usual. Usually I can just kind of take it easy and knowing Nick's doing most of the work, but not this month. So.
Although something tells me Nick is still working hard as well right now.
Well, yeah, I guess. I guess there's a little bit of work involved in handling a infant and a toddler, maybe.
Let's see. This looks like it's from. Looks like Stephen gave us a question here, so I'm not sure if it's live or where this one's coming from. Doug Booker says, "When will Chase add a grocery category? The people want it." Slightly smiling face. The emoji was translated. That's funny.
Slightly smiling face.
It comes from Facebook, he says. So.
Yeah. So I mean, this is just asking me for a prediction, I guess. I mean, it's pretty notable that they've done things recently that are kind of limited time things. So the freedom offers now include 5x grocery for 12 months, up to a total of 12K. They also did a bunch of grocery bonuses for various cards earlier in the COVID enhancements that were happening. That's all notable mainly because we just haven't seen that kind of thing from Chase before, like grocery bonuses, at least not anytime recently, other than the rotating 5% categories on the freedom. So do I think they'll do something permanent, I think is the question. And, I don't think so. I think that the freedom cards are the cards that if they're gonna add a freedom grocery bonus to any card, I would see it being the freedom cards, not the sapphire line, because the sapphire line is more advertised as travel cards, and I don't see grocery as like fitting that description. So that's why, I think if they're gonna add a bonus category to the sapphire lineup, we're more likely to see something like gas that would be plausibly a travel-like thing. But yeah, no, my bet is no to any permanent grocery bonus.
You don't buy groceries when you travel?
Not
Not like
not regularly, but I guess the way Steven travels, he buys groceries all the time.
yeah, you just need a portable kitchen, then you really could get
Right,
groceries. to
right.
travel.
Do you buy groceries when you travel?
Yeah, we used to a lot when we were like super budget. We would go to grocery stores a lot and make
Right.
sandwiches in the hotel. I used to joke that we survived on chicken sandwiches. And I started a chicken sandwich tally. See how many chicken sandwiches I ate, but I still eat a lot of them. Uh, that is not credit card related, so we're going to switch back to the topic here with question 8 from Tradalal. Earlier in the year, I received a new Fidelity 2% credit card and evidently increased spend too fast and got shut down.
Ouch.
Possible to apply for this card at a later time and get approved?
I have no idea.
You're supposed to have a longer answer than that.
This is a speed round. You didn't know? Lightning round.
Lightning. I do have another question here that I can toss your way, though. It's not been.
We said you could ask us anything. We didn't say we'd answer anything, or at least not answer it well. I guess I answered it, but
Steven sent us one from Facebook from Peggy Stumler. I'm not sure I understand it though. Oh, I understand it. Hyatt Ziva or Zilara in Cancun?
yeah, haven't been to either, so go with whichever one. One of them's adults only, and one allows kids. So
I actually have been to one.
You have? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's your question then.
Well,
Which one should they go to?
I don't have kids, so I like one without kids. But I didn't think either were as impressive as the one in Jamaica, which I'm gonna screw up the name. It was the same Ziva Zilara pairing.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're right. They're always named those things.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Jamaica one is better to go to. How many have you been to?
Of those, just Mexico and Jamaica. And the one in Jamaica, I think we actually did do both. I kind of can't remember. I'm terrible with these kind of memories. But I loved the food in Jamaica, and then in Mexico, I felt like it was like still good, but it didn't make the experience like the one in Jamaica did.
Okay, so there you go. Peggy, go to Jamaica.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're allowed in Jamaica though.
Oh yeah, that's a good point as well.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Let's see. Did I put another one up there? I think I did. Tell me if we've already been over this one. From Harsh Sharma again. As a replacement setup, the Altitude Reserve gets 4.5% back on travel and groceries, mobile payments, and the Altitude Go gets 4% on dining.
So that was more of a statement than a question, and that's all true. Yes.
So Steven's kind of jumping in here, helping me with the questions. Question 11 for us. Hey, Greg, initial thoughts on the CSP 80,000 bonus without any category changes? Could Chase possibly change nothing?
So that was fed to us by Steven. Steven, and can you also let us know the name of the person who asked the questions? Champ. Okay. So yeah, could Chase possibly change nothing? So I think what he's alluding to, I'd written a whole post last week about how the Sapphire lineup really ought to change to respond to the new, better bonus categories available on the Freedom cards, and also from pressure from the market, because like Amex has moved to like 4x in a bunch of good categories with the Gold card, and Cities moved to 3x in a bunch of good categories with the Premier, which is a $95 card, when compared to the $95 Sapphire Preferred, which only has 2x travel and dining. The Sapphire lineup is just looking very old and weak. So my post from last week wasn't really a prediction of what would happen as much as like, here's what Chase should do. And I suggested a bunch of bonus categories, move Preferred to 3x and Reserve to 4x. That doesn't mean I think it will happen. And I guess, so the latest the fact that they just came out with this 80K offer doesn't prove that they're not going to do anything to the Sapphire Preferred as far as the standard benefits, but it makes it, in my mind, less likely that they're going to do anything soon to add new benefits. So it's kind of, I find that kind of discouraging. We'll have to wait and see.
They must not be reading your blog.
Right.
Have you ever written some prediction like that and then it comes true and you get suspicious they're reading your blog?
Sure. Sometimes not predictions, but I had written this kind of famously happened a few months ago, where I'd written a post. It had nothing to do with Hilton per se, but I mentioned in the post that Hilton had accidentally given me about 600,000 points about a year ago. And I wrote, and this was like way down at the bottom of the post. And then I wrote something at the end of that paragraph, like, Hilton, if you're reading this, feel free to take them. I know they don't belong to me. But less than a week later, they were gone.
That's pretty telling. You couldn't set up a better test than that. All right, we do have another question here. Another one from Harsh Sharma. Make sure I'm on the right one here. Any guesses when the Amex lounges will open again? I feel like we get this one every week.
Yeah, I thought I read that some of them were already open. I don't know. If anyone else knows the answer, please answer in the chat.
I feel like I've seen people stepping into lounges on social media, but maybe I'm.
Well, I mean, there's certainly some airline lounges open, but I think he's talking about the Amex Centurion lounges.
Right. So we do have another one here from Adam Double M. Would you take risk to apply for Chase Sapphire Preferred via referral link and ask for bonus match? 80,000 versus 60,000 plus 50,000 referral plus 20,000 match. Would you take that risk?
Yeah, I would. Chase is usually very solid about matching bonuses, so I don't think that's much of a risk. I would check though if you could regenerate the referral offer today or tomorrow. It might the referral offer might be up to 80K. You know, it might just be taking a little longer to update than the rest of the world. So I don't know. I would keep checking back on the referral, get a new link, and see if you could get the 80K straight up.
Next question from iGarvey or some version of that. Absent level 3 data, how do Amex and US Bank know that you're buying gift cards? Do they just guess by the transaction amount? Does it make sense to buy gift cards in odd amounts to throw them off?
Okay, so both of these banks are known to shut down people who buy lots of gift cards because they don't want people doing that. In US Bank's case, it's specifically when people use the Altitude Reserve with mobile wallet payment like Apple Pay, because they get 3x points using Apple Pay. So if you buy gift cards that way, they don't like that. So level 3 data is where the store provides like the detail of what you bought to the credit card company. So obviously when there is level 3 data, they know exactly what you bought, and there's no problem shutting you down because they see that you bought gift cards. So the question is, what if they don't get that data? And I don't know. I mean, my sense is that at least with Amex, the shutdowns and or failure to give you your points, which is the other outcome that could happen, doesn't happen as often with like purchases at like pharmacies, for example, where they don't provide level 3 data. So I don't know that they do catch you for those, at least in Amex's case. With the Altitude Reserve, I think it's based on the amount paid probably. And so, yeah, it's certainly possible if you do odd amounts that might help. Although I think, any very large purchases are going to get probably looked at more carefully than others. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I haven't tested that theory, so I can't prove that it's right. But
so a large amount, even if it's an odd amount, might still trigger the.
It might. I mean, it kind of depends. I think there's a lot of things I don't know. So most of the reports of Altitude Reserve shutdowns happen pretty much right after it was launched. So the question is, are they still shutting people down a lot? Are they still being that proactive about it? Or were they just trying to stem the tide right at the beginning? I don't know. And so, I wouldn't be too scared about trying a gift card purchase now and then at a drugstore and just kind of see what happens, and then maybe slowly ramp up from there.
Yeah. Then Dr. Nicholas R. Scheidt asks, "Hi, Greg. Did you ever hear back from Hyatt about the double elite nights, January 1 to 4 from the new promo?"
Yeah, why? Yes, I did. So Hyatt, uh, Hyatt is running a promo. It hasn't started yet, but where from, I think it's October 1st to January 4th, any elite nights you earn during that period, you'll get a match of that many elite nights next year. So, basically, if you do 20 nights in that period, you'll start next year with 20 nights. The nights that count in January, though, are double. So if you stay January 1st to 4th, that's what, 3 nights. You'd get 6 nights for 2021 towards elite status. The confusing part, and I still have like a little bit more to clarify with Hyatt about this, is what happens when you have a stay that spans this year and next year. So historically, if you had a stay that started in December, ended in January, all of the elite nights would apply to January. And so last time we did this, we kind of speculated that maybe, like, if you did 20 nights leading up to January 4th, let's say, that you would then get 40 nights for next year, basically, for 40 elite nights. But Hyatt, the Hyatt person I've been talking to says no, that for the purposes of this promotion, they're going to apply elite nights in the year in which you stayed, even if you didn't check out in that year. So if you stay 20 nights
allocate
and only 2 or 3 of them are in 2021, and it's only those 2 or 3 that'll be doubled in 2021. The others will, like, so the other 17 nights, you'll get 17 nights in 2020 and 17 nights in 2021. They won't be doubled. But anyway, I still have a little bit to clarify with Hyatt before writing that up.
But you do intend to write a post on that?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to use your new table template. This is why I asked you to create that table template. The really pretty way of formatting tables, and that call out thing as well was for this post.
Nice. So if anyone has questions about tables next, then we can cover that.
HTML tables, anybody?
Otherwise, Dr. Nick, you can look for Greg's upcoming post with my fancy table. Then Harsh Sharma has another question. Do you see Chase adding Hyatt or United status to add value to the Chase Sapphire Reserve?
Ooh, that would be nice. I think that's a great idea. I think they should. Do I think it's likely? No, I guess what I think is most likely for them to do is continue expanding on partnerships with other companies so that the other company foots either all or part of the bill of providing a benefit. So for example, last year they added DoorDash benefits. So you get like free Dash Pass and $60 in DoorDash credits. And I'm pretty sure that DoorDash must, cover that $60 fee, and or must give Chase a big discount on it or something. Otherwise, why would they limit it to DoorDash, right? So that's what I think is most likely to happen, because that way they can provide what looks like very generous benefits, but not have to pay as much for those benefits.
Yeah, that sounds plausible to me. Not that I know. Anything else on that one before we move on?
No, I think that's good.
One of our MVP question askers, Adam Double M again, says, how strict do you think about Chase to reject new application if you've applied Chase card in past 3 months? I think this is quickly typed. Just applied for Chase Marriott Bonvoy Boundless last month. Would like to get Chase Sapphire Preferred as well. That's
Chase doesn't have a 3-month rule, so they do have like I don't think they'll let you get more than like 2 personal cards in 1 month, but you should be fine. I mean, obviously there's other things like they do look at overall. They might reject you because I think you're applying for too many cards and or your income's not enough or whatever. But my point is that there's no hard and fast rule that I know of that you have to worry about in that situation.
So you think not necessarily strict?
Yeah, I just don't think that's a rule. So yeah, so definitely not strict.
The opposite of strict. All right, cool. That seems like good news. Then Grant Thomas asks, assuming you were starting from scratch today with 0 credit cards, what would your Chase credit card strategy be?
Yeah, interesting. I mean, the first thing I would do is dig up my posts. So I wrote a post, I think it was last year, about like the must-have Chase cards. And so that's important because if you think you're going to be applying for a bunch of credit cards, soon you'll have signed up for 5 or more, and then you won't be able to get more Chase cards because they have the 524 rule where they won't accept your application if you have opened 5 or more cards in the past 24 months. And so the idea is to look at like what cards are must-haves so that you make sure you get those before you're kind of locked out of more Chase cards. And it's kind of an interesting environment. And this probably would be a great time for me to go back to that post and rewrite it kind of, because I might not have had the Freedom Flex. Well, I definitely didn't have the Freedom Flex since that's brand new, but I also might not have, I don't remember, had the Freedom Unlimited in there, both of which are now more interesting than they were before. The other aspect of it is I really wrote that post with like, well, first of all, you should be getting business cards first because they don't affect your 524 count. And so make sure you get all the Chase business cards you want first. Right now, Chase has been denying most business card applications during COVID. And so you definitely need a different strategy for right now than that. So, I don't know. I mean, I just off the top of my head, I think I would definitely go for the Sapphire Preferred 80K offer, for example, whereas I might have in the past said, no, do the Inc. Business Preferred 80K offer, or what's now 100K offer. And definitely at least one of those Freedom offers, which has both the 20K points and 5X on grocery for 12 months. And then, if you could do more than 12K in grocery, you might want to think about getting both the Freedom Unlimited and the Freedom Flex. So you have twice as much grocery spend, and then you've got a pretty nice card lineup, and can always decide to upgrade to the Sapphire Reserve next year, a year after getting the Preferred, if you prefer that, prefer to have the Reserve. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now with under COVID without the easy ability to get business cards.
And when did you write that post?
I think it was last year.
How often do you think that changes? So like, how often does that advice outdate?
I don't know. I mean, Chase hasn't made major changes to their Sapphire or to their Ultimate Rewards card lineup for quite a while. But recently they just started to. So
yeah.
So I'd be hesitant to put anything in stone right now, because it does seem like with the big Freedom changes, there might still yet be big Sapphire changes. I don't know.
Got it. Yeah, makes sense. And then Kay Najulian asks, hi guys, any chance we can get these Ask Anything YouTube videos every week?
Every week?
We can't even get this one.
I mean, it's possible. We had reserved every other week for Card Talk, which we're not currently recording while Nick's off. So as long as we plan to bring back Card Talk, then the answer is no. If for some reason we decide not to continue Card Talk, then yeah, it's certainly possible that we could bring this back to weekly. Let me ask people who are watching live, which would you rather have every other week Card Talk or weekly Ask Us Anything? So just I don't know if there's a way for us to do a poll in the chat area, but if not, just I guess just everybody put weekly or Card Talk as your preference.
Interesting. Can't wait to see what they say. But in the meantime, Larry K asks maybe more of a Nick question. Do you know?
What good is that?
I think he's trying to diss you a little bit. Do you know of any way to book Q suites without high taxes using Chase or Amex, so no American?
I would look into. So I think you could book them with Cathay, and Cathay does pass along fuel surcharges, but sometimes they're less than others do. So anyway, I would look into what Cathay would charge for what you want to book, because they're a transfer partner with Amex.
Cool. All right. Then Grant Thomas hits me with this question. Carrie, what's new with Drew? I miss seeing you guys. Well, Grant, we miss seeing you too. Drew is working with the app team at the Points Guy right now. So for the first time in a long time, Drew and I have different jobs. So that's why you're not seeing us, our little online duo, much anymore, but we still work from the same house. So I get to see him all the time. But that is what's new with him. Question from Aquaman Shibs. That's a great name.
That's the first time we've gotten a question from a superhero.
Hopefully he'll be a new reader. What's the best downgrade path for Bank of America, Alaska? Travel reward or cash 123? Hope that makes sense to you, because none of those words make sense to me.
I'm not actually sure what the 123 is, but Bank of America has their travel rewards card, which is great if you have platinum honors status with Bank of America, because then you get 2.62% back everywhere, basically, for all spend. The cash rewards card has 3% categories, including like online purchases. That's quite broad as to what you could do with it. I think that's limited to $2,500 spend per quarter, but that 3% becomes 5.25% if you have platinum honor status. So that's very generous. So I would say basically, if you don't have the platinum honor status, then it probably doesn't make a big difference, because it's either one wouldn't be too interesting. And it's just a way, I guess, of holding your spot, having a card for the future. But if you do have platinum honors, then I'd be thinking more about how much are you likely to spend. If you're likely to spend, like $100,000, then the travel awards has more upside because it's uncapped at 2.62%, whereas the cash rewards has that cap of what I think off the top of my head was $2,500 a quarter, but I'm not 100% sure of that.
I wonder if it would be useful ever to have like a glossary of miles and points terms. Just so
yeah.
Okay, here's another one from K Najulian. If hotels are hurting for occupancy, why don't they lower their prices significantly? Seems like a good question.
Well, not all hotels are. So a lot of the hotels, at least in the north that I've looked at over the summertime and fall even, have been near capacity. So people have been wanting to travel, and what they've been doing, instead of going far away, they've been traveling within their state or nearby states. And so a lot of hotels are actually full and or close to full. So they're not lowering their prices, but there are other hotels that are quite empty and that haven't lowered their prices. And my theory is that there the thought is, and who knows if this is true or not, but that the thought is, well, the only people traveling that would be coming to this hotel are like, they have to travel for whatever reason, whether it's for work or to visit family or something. So they won't be as so those people would be willing to pay whatever, and we need to charge more in order to make up for all our lost income at the lost revenue at the hotel. That I mean, that's sort of just guessing as to what the hotels might be thinking. To me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I think people do have options and are price shopping. So I would think they would be looking elsewhere if a hotel is twice as much as a nearby one. That's an equally good choice.
Yeah, that is kind of puzzling. I feel like I've noticed that on Airbnb too, that prices don't lower like I think they will.
Mhm.
Now, Matt,
But Airbnb, I think, is even more like in demand now than usual.
you think so?
Because people want like places where they don't have to go through a hotel lobby and everything, where they can be in a standalone unit, so that
Hmm.
they don't have to like interact with people, and that you could have a kitchen, so you don't have to eat out in restaurants and everything. So if you're worried about sort of the COVID situation, an Airbnb is probably a better solution than
Yeah,
a hotel.
we found that for our Airbnbs, they didn't kind of recover from the COVID
Oh,
lapse,
really?
so we offered week or month discounts. So it seems like,
Did that work?
yeah, but I don't know what that says about how people are traveling. We're all working remote and can go work from Airbnbs, maybe.
Yeah.
Puzzling again. So Matt Beto asks, since this is Ask Greg Anything, I am randomly in Ann Arbor right now and have no plans whatsoever. Can you think of
Wow.
anything that I should do or see here before I leave? Fun question.
Interesting. Well, if you like nature, definitely go to the river, and there's an area called the Cascades that is real pretty, and there's hiking trails there. If you want to get wet, if if it gets warmer, which I think it's supposed to get warmer tomorrow. There's you can go down inner tubes down these cascades, which is a lot of fun. As far as So a lot of things are closed. Trying to think what else I would recommend. Um, the
Is Zingerman's closed? Probably.
No, Zingerman's is open,
Huh.
but yeah, that's that's so touristy. I don't know.
Yeah, that
You could go
probably.
to Zingerman's Deli, but a real treasure near Zingerman's Deli. There's a market and which has two different sort of eateries inside, and you can from either of them order and take food to eat outside in the courtyard. And this is in the area called Carrie, which is right near Zingerman's Deli. And one's called Lumi's Cafe, and they have sort of Mediterranean and Eastern food, like street food type things, and they're just incredibly good. Super. You have to like spice, but man, they can be so good. And then if you like seafood, right there in the same place is Monahan Seafood, which they don't provide food at dinner time, but at lunch you can come in and get whatever kind of fish you want, and they're excellent too. Um, Favorite restaurant in the world is called Spencer in Ann Arbor, and it is not open for it's open for takeout, but it's not open for seating, and it doesn't open on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So you'd have to wait till Thursday to get any food from there anyway. But that would be nice. And finally, one place that I believe is open that's really cool is called Jefferson Market and Cafe, something like that. And it's in a neighborhood just slightly west of town, and has a courtyard in the back that's all like tree lined that you can eat your food back there. So if it's a nice day, it's a great way to have lunch or breakfast, is to go by there, order your food in the front, and then go around to the back and enjoy it back there.
Nice. Makes me want to do another Ann Arbor trip
Yeah.
before it gets cold tomorrow or
Right.
whenever.
In about 12 minutes.
Yeah, right after this. Agnostician asks, Greg, if a stay at Hyatt is from December 28th to January 1st, so December 28th, 2020 to January 1st, 2021, how would the 4 elite night credit be allocated? I think you kind of addressed this earlier, didn't you? Or is this different?
Yeah, I mean, I've been told that it would be broken up. What I don't know yet is exactly what happens on the December 31st night. Does that night go to 2020 or to 2021? And because the way they told it to me the first time, it sounded like it went to 2020, but that does not sound right to me. So I asked for clarification. So I don't know the full answer yet.
And you said you'll be doing a post about that soon, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
So agnostician, watch for that post. Champ asks, Greg, have you ever heard of any unspoken total Chase credit card limit? I currently have 6 personal and 4 biz cards with Chase, and I'll get under 524 soon. Am I silly for being nervous about applying?
I don't know of any strict card limit, but they do, like an analyst might deny you. Actually, it's very likely to get a denial for too much credit already being allocated to you. And so because you have all those cards open, you might already have a lot of credit allocated to you from Chase. So if that happens, there's sort of 2 approaches people take to that. One is to um, call ahead of time and ask for your credit limits to be reduced, and then wait about a month to make sure it gets on your credit report that way before applying. The other option is just to apply, know you're likely to get initial denial, and then call the reconsideration line and say, I'm not looking for new credit. Can you just move credit from another card to this one so that you can approve it? And that's worked for me a bunch of times. So that's what I recommend doing. There is. Are you silly? No. About being nervous? No, because there is another issue, which is that Chase is sort of the equivalent of the Amex rat team, but Chase has people that will shut down accounts if they're worried about you like running up credit and then running out of town. So like if they think you're gonna bust out by leaving them hanging in the bag, then they're likely to cut you off proactively by shutting down your accounts. And so one of the things that people who do that do is open up multiple accounts. And so that, opening up yet another account could get eyes on your account. And then if you have sudden like big spend patterns, they might get worried about you. So it's not, anytime you're doing anything with Chase, it's not foolish, especially if you have a lot of cards, it's not foolish to worry about it. I don't think it's likely that anything would happen to you, but I don't know, the pattern behind you or any of that.
Yeah, sounds like a fair assessment. Eddie Klein says, any thoughts on how much spend one can safely do at drugstores on Freedom cards? Greg, did you make it back to Ventana, and did I miss a post?
I'll answer the second one first. You
Yeah.
probably missed the post about my vacation to New England, where I said in there that I had intended to go to Ventana. I had planned to go to Ventana, but Big Sur was on fire. And so we didn't go there. We had to cancel that. It's very sad. So no, we haven't been back. How much spend one can safely do at drugstores? Nobody knows. This is brand new. This capability. I've kind of suggested that I would feel safe, I think, doing around $1,000 a week. I think I'd be very nervous doing more than that, at least until we get more data points. So, yeah.
Yeah.
How much would you feel safe doing, Carrie?
I don't do this stuff.
But you
But
used to, right? Like, didn't you used to like run out to grocery stores and buy gift cards and stuff?
yeah, definitely. And I'm trying to remember how much we would do. I was usually in accomplice mode, so I didn't track the figures. I
Right.
just
Do you
awkwardly.
happen to remember what credit cards you used to do that?
We had that blue one.
Okay, the Amex Blue
Amex
Cash, the one
Gold.
that got like 5%
Yeah, I think
cash
that's
back.
what I did most.
Hmm.
But I just remember feeling extremely awkward trying when people at the register would kind of give you the eye and be like, "I need to see an ID or whatever." Then I always
Right.
hated that. But I like
Yeah.
the travel, so it was worth it.
Right.
We actually made my sister cash out some cards for us because we were always overseas, so we would sometimes have to have people do that stuff for us.
Well, that's cool that she's willing to do it. Did
Yeah,
she mind?
I'm a twin, so
So she
we
asked you.
do twin favors for each other. It's a special status you reach at twinship. That's sad about Ventana though. Like,
Yeah.
you know how they're doing? Are they like open now or
I believe they reopened. So it just sort of coincidental. We canceled it before they closed, but we already knew that the air quality would be bad, so we didn't want to go they were actually recommending people stay in their rooms while they're there. It's just like, no,
yeah,
I don't go to Big Sur to stay in my room, so
yeah,
that's
that's
ridiculous.
sad.
Um, but it turned out that they closed for almost exactly the period of time we were gonna be there. Like
Oh,
we perfectly overlapped. Then they reopened, but
but like you
I,
said,
I have I have
probably,
no idea if it's better now or not.
yeah, man, tough to watch that. Um, iGarvey has another question for us. What's the best way to cash out ultimate rewards at 1.5 cents per point using the new Chase Pay Yourself Back feature?
Hmm.
I've
Well,
not.
I mean, you just use your credit card use your Sapphire Reserve to make charges at the participating stores, which are grocery stores, home improvement, maybe restaurants. I can't remember what the whole list was, and there was some charity. um, I mean, with the one that's easiest to do gift cards with, if you want to manufacture sort of this pay yourself back, as you buy gift cards at a grocery store, and then you could erase those purchases with your points. So that's probably the easiest way for people to do if you have a lot of points to cash out. Now, keep in mind the current pay yourself back categories are only till the end of September, and we don't know yet what the new categories will be. So I'm going to be very interested to see what that is.
That
And
will like rotate regularly.
that's sort of their pay yourself back um, feature has its own web page, and that web page makes it sound like it will rotate, like maybe quarterly. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be exciting to see because this was a feature nobody saw coming. So it was like
Yeah,
great new perk that just appeared out of nowhere. And since we're on the first round of it ever, we don't know what's going to happen next. It's kind
yeah,
of
that's
exciting.
always kind of fun when
Yep.
stuff like that pops up. Um, let's see. Harsh Sharma again says, "Can someone use a Chase Freedom referral link to get a Chase Sapphire Preferred?" That's interesting.
I don't think so. I mean, you could get one indirectly by signing up for the Freedom and then upgrade later to the Sapphire Preferred, but that's not going to give you the 80K bonus.
Sounds like a no. Then Can217 says, "I'll be 4 of 24 in November and would like to apply for the Hyatt card. Should I wait until 2021 so any elite nights don't get lost at the end of the year, mid-December?"
Um, So the card gives you 5 elite nights every year. So the only reason I can think of to wait till next year would be if they bring back this year, early this year, they did a promo where you got new card holders got 10 elite nights this year instead of 5 when they signed up. So if you think that's going to come back, then that might be a reason to wait. I don't know why else you would wait. And in fact, if you're planning on redeeming any points this year, I would hurry up and get the card because they're giving card holders 25% rebate on points awards. And so you want to be a card holder and get 25% back instead of 15% back, which you get without having the card. So there's some definite advantages to being a card holder. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Then Grant Thomas says, Carrie, you did a great job hosting. I promise this is what he said. I'm not making this up. You did a great job hosting and reading the questions. Greg, do you think it would be possible to do virtual FTU or Chicago seminars? That's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, I believe there is I don't know about Chicago seminars, but I believe there is a virtual FTU being planned.
Yeah,
So I've been asked to speak at it. So I expect that's going to happen. I think the dates were in doubt is why it hasn't been announced yet. So yeah, definitely. I think that'll be good. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes, like we'll be missing the people hanging out in hallways talking to each other part of it, but it's an opportunity for a lot more people than usual to participate. So maybe that'll go well, and if they do some kind of, it'd be neat if they did breakout groups for people who are in different regions, so that you can talk to other people who might like know tricks for
That's a great
MSing in your city or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What about a FM on the goes, but on Zoom? FM on the Zoom?
These are kind of that, right? These
Yeah, I guess that's
ask us anythings in a way. I mean, I guess we could do more formal presentations and chats or something. Yeah.
you speak for yourself on that one. Let's see. Now we've got Eddie Klein says breaking exclusive offer for pre-selected members 3x AA miles. Earn 3 miles for every $1 spent with World of Hyatt. Book and complete any number of qualifying stays between September 22 and December 31, 2020.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like an announcement. That
So that's pretty exciting because that overlaps. So the Hyatt's latest promo, the one with double elite nights, where you get elite nights both for this year and next year. The bigger headline of that is how you get triple points, Hyatt points, for paid stays. And so what Eddie's saying is there's a promo on the American Airlines side, so they're partners, Hyatt and AA. Like you can always get 1 AA mile per dollar at Hyatt.
Okay.
Thanks to the partnership, you just have to link your accounts. So he's saying you get 3. So now you could be getting 15 Hyatt points per dollar for a stay during like October to January 4th, and 3 AA miles for September 22nd to December 31st. So October to the end of December, these two perfectly overlap, which is great. And you'd get the double elite. You'd get the elite nights that copy over to next year as well.
And had you heard that before, or did
Had
Eddie?
not. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Wonder where Eddie Klein read that.
I don't know. Maybe Stephen wrote a quick deal while we were talking.
Oh, that would be so stellar. If so, he does a better job at my job than I do, because he also ended up feeding us these questions.
Right. All right. I think we're at the end of the hour, right?
Yes, I think so. Steven says no, it was not him.
So Eddie, if you could forward us a link or something to that, or an email you got, that'd be helpful. And I'll make it. I know you have my email address, and I'll forward it to Stephen if you don't know his. But it is Stephen Pepper at. Actually, Stephen, you could just write in the chat what your Myler email address is, if you don't mind. Okay, that brings us to the end. So Carrie, thank you very much for standing in for
Sure.
Nick. You were great because unlike Nick, you did not contradict nearly everything I said.
I should have done more than that. Nick will scold me for not disagreeing with you more.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We,
Nick.
I auditioned Nick's first son for this, but he just kept saying no, no, no. So
No.
yeah, we had to boot him off the show.
Yeah. Sorry,
All
Connor.